It's now official. Elon Musk is leaving his role as a special government employee in the Trump administration, with a White House official confirming to me tonight that he is going to start the offboarding process this evening, which essentially includes paperwork. It's not totally clear what else, but we did see.
As the curtain begins to close on Elon Musk's controversial stint within the Trump administration, the announcement feels less like a resignation and more like a strategic retreat. Behind the polished words of appreciation lies a calculated move, aimed at preserving Musk's public image just as political tensions reach a boiling point.
This on his own website, saying, "As my scheduled time as a special government employee comes to an end, I'd like to thank President Trump for the opportunity to reduce wasteful spending. The DOGE mission will only strengthen over time as it becomes a way of life throughout government."
The language on his website is carefully chosen. Reducing wasteful spending, a phrase that aligns with public sentiment, while subtly distancing himself from the more polarizing policies he once tacitly endorsed. And yet, the timing speaks volumes. As Musk positions himself closer to the stars, both literally with the DOGE mission and figuratively with SpaceX's ambitions.
This is all coming as Musk has recently tried to distance himself from the administration to a degree, including when he criticized the president's big, beautiful bill, something the president was asked about today and essentially shrugged off.
His earthly entanglements in D.C. politics seem to have become expendable. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Musk's subtle jabs at Trump's infamous big, beautiful border wall didn't go unnoticed. Though shrugged off by the president, the cracks in their alliance had already begun to show.
Well, reactions, a lot of things. Number one, we have to get a lot of votes. We can't be cutting. We need to get a lot of support, and we have a lot of support. We will be negotiating that bill, and I'm not happy about certain aspects of it, but I'm thrilled by other aspects of it. That's the way they go. It's very big. It's the big, beautiful bill, but the beautiful is because of all of the things we have.
In classic Trump fashion, the response is less about Elon Musk and more about the optics of strength and support. His words ricochet between rally cries and half-formed thoughts, a familiar cadence to those who've watched his political playbook unfold over the years. The big, beautiful bill, a phrase that's become almost synonymous with Trump's branding of policy. But beneath the bravado is a hint of irritation. He admits he's not happy with parts of it, though, true to form, quickly flips the narrative to emphasize what he is thrilled about. It's selective transparency, giving the public just enough drama to stay interested, but not enough detail to hold him accountable. And in this moment, Trump's message is clear. Musk's departure might grab headlines, but it won't derail the campaign train. Not while he still believes he has a lot of support. The question is, how much of that support hinges on allies like Musk staying in the fold?
I was disappointed to see the massive spending bill, frankly, which increases the budget deficit, not just decrease it, and undermines the work that the DOGE team is doing. I think a bill can be big or it can be beautiful, but I don't know if it can be both. My personal opinion.
Elon Musk doesn't hold back. In this brief but telling soundbite, his disappointment is palpable and political. The so-called big, beautiful bill that Trump champions is, in Musk's eyes, bloated and self-defeating. For a man who built his brand on disruption and innovation, watching a government he was once part of push through a massive spending package that increases the deficit isn't just frustrating. It's a betrayal of principle. Musk's jab, "I don't know if it can be both," isn't just wordplay. It's a strategic disassociation. A billionaire technocrat turning his back on the bureaucratic bloat he can no longer influence. And when he references the Department of Justice's team, it's a rare nod to institutional integrity, something Musk seldom champions unless it serves a larger narrative. Here, that narrative is clear. He's stepping away, not because he's finished, but because Washington is broken.
All of this tonight is the veteran tech journalist, Kara Swisher. And Kara, it's great to have you here. What do you make of Elon Musk officially leaving his role that he is tonight?
Well, it's a long goodbye, isn't it? I mean, he seems to be leaving and going out. He needs to work on his company. This was inevitable that he was not going to stay there very long. And it pushed along by the fact that his businesses are a bit in distress. And so he needs to pay attention and do his actual job.
Do you think he's actually leaving?
I think he's probably frustrated by the pace of government. And when he goes back to his companies, he says jump and they say how high. At the government, they don't do that.
Veteran tech journalist Kara Swisher doesn't mince words, and she doesn't need to. Her breakdown of Musk's exit slices through the public narrative and exposes a deeper reality. Elon Musk may be a visionary in Silicon Valley, but in Washington, he was out of his element. Swisher paints the picture of a man who underestimated the machinery of government, frustrated that his calls for change weren't echoed with instant obedience. Used to private sector speed, Musk collided head-on with bureaucratic inertia.
And I think he found a lot more difficulty in finding real cuts and everything else. And I think they're only sending $9 billion in DOGE cuts which is nothing. It's a drop in the bucket, which means pretty much his effort was a failure.
Yeah, that's what they're planning to send up to the Hill based on what we know so far. But I mean, $9 billion might sound like a ton of money to someone who's watching, but when you think about his stated goal of $1 trillion to cut coming in,
$2 trillion at first,
$2 trillion initially, then that was halved to be more realistic.
Yeah,
I think that puts it more in perspective of how much there was this high bar that they did not reach.
No, it's what they spent on paper clips. I mean, it's really not a lot, and he didn't find it. He was able to do it because he made cuts in particular areas, some of which were regulating him, like foreign budgets, maybe attack NPR, attack things like that. But it wasn't significant cutting that they were talking about, which is reforming government.
The numbers speak louder than the headlines. Musk aimed for $1 trillion in cuts. He got $9 billion, a drop in the ocean, symbolic at best, insufficient at worst. His ambitious reform agenda buckled under the weight of political compromise and institutional resistance.
Extensively, and as he correctly pointed out, you can't have a bill that's big and beautiful. You can have one or the other. And, Musk can do math, I think, and he understands the deficit. This $2.3 billion or more raising the deficit is very dangerous for this country, which was something I think he genuinely wanted to help fix.
Did the president's response when he was asked about Elon Musk saying, it can be big or it can be beautiful, it can't be both, which he said with a laugh there, but I do think is a point that he actually probably believes. Were you surprised that Trump didn't have a stronger response to that?
No, because he was just saying, yeah, that's the way it goes here up in there. Like, I think he was acknowledging that this is how it happens, this is how the sausage is made. And I think Elon thought, because the way he runs his own companies, that he could just come in and trample everybody. And I think that was one of the problems. I think
And then there's the image. Musk wielding a metaphorical chainsaw, bullying cabinet members, dominating the narrative. Swisher doesn't just describe dysfunction, she diagnoses hubris. For all the public posturing, the real legacy of Musk's government tenure might be remembered more for spectacle than substance. But perhaps most damning is Swisher's final remark. DOGE has just become the whipping boy for everything. A project meant to showcase innovation and fiscal discipline, now reduced to a scapegoat. It's a biting indictment, one that suggests Musk didn't just fail to change the system. He may have become part of the very circus he tried to disrupt.
Some sound, just to stay on Elon Musk for a second, because Musk, it was a couple weeks ago where he said he was going to get out of the political giving business, and he had a soundbite that's been played, but the end of it I want you to pay attention to. Listen.
In terms of political spending, I'm going to do a lot less in the future.
And why is that?
I think I've done enough. Well, if I see a reason to do political spending in the future, I will do it. I do not currently see a reason.
It was that last line. I do not currently see a reason.
Clip 6. Elon Musk's words here mark a pivotal shift, a rare moment of public admission that his deep dive into politics may have reached its limit. I think I've done enough, he says, signaling a retreat from the chaotic world of government influence back toward his core businesses. This move reflects the tension between Musk's ambitions as a visionary entrepreneur and the grind of political maneuvering. For a man used to fast decisions and bold actions, the slow, procedural nature of politics often proves frustrating and, as this statement suggests, perhaps not worth the ongoing investment. It raises the question, is Musk stepping away for good or merely recalibrating his approach to wielding influence in the future? The impact of this shift will ripple through both the political landscape and the tech world as he refocuses on innovation over legislation.
Now, I don't have any particular insider sources inside Musk world, but I do have my eyes and ears. And that sounded like he was saying he doesn't like what he is seeing right now in politics, particularly from the White House, which he's been so supportive of.
Well, I think there are two things at play here. As we can all recall, when Elon Musk went to Wisconsin a couple months ago, that blew up in his face really badly. The Elon Musk who's able to showcase his money, that is his calling card when it comes to primarying and creating challengers for Republicans who don't side with him in the Trump administration.
This moment captures the deeper undercurrents behind Musk's retreat from politics. Saying, "I do not currently see a reason," is less about apathy and more about frustration, a clear signal that the political landscape, especially within the White House, no longer aligns with his vision or strategy. His high-profile Wisconsin trip, intended to flex political muscle and influence Republican primaries, backfired spectacularly. The spectacle of wielding money as a weapon, his usual playbook in business, didn't translate smoothly into politics, where alliances and ideology hold sway over cash. It's a stark reminder that in Washington, power is not just about resources, but relationships. Musk's experience highlights the challenge billionaire outsiders face when trying to reshape politics with a startup mindset.
A lot of things. Number one, we have to get a lot of votes. We can't be cutting. We need to get a lot of support, and we have a lot of support. We had to get it through the House. The House was. We have no Democrats. If it's up to the Democrats, they'll take the 65% increase. If that doesn't get approved, this country is going to have a 65% increase in taxes and lots of other problems, big problems, almost bigger than that. But we'll have a 65% increase as opposed to the largest tax cut in the history of our country.
Trump's response reveals the hard political calculus behind legislative decisions. Getting votes often takes precedence over ideal policy. His focus on securing support, even at the expense of cutting spending, highlights the balancing act Republicans faced in the House. The mention of a potential 65% increase in taxes frames the stakes in stark, dramatic terms, painting Democrats as the party pushing for steep hikes, while positioning his side as defenders of historic tax cuts. This rhetorical strategy is designed to rally his base and justify compromises. It's a reminder that politics is as much about messaging and maneuvering as it is about policy outcomes, especially when a bill is described as big but needs to be beautiful enough to pass.
We will be negotiating that bill, and I'm not happy about certain aspects of it, but I'm thrilled by other aspects of it. That's the way they go. It's very big. It's the big, beautiful bill. But the beautiful is because of all of the things we have. The biggest thing being, I would say, the level of tax cutting that we're going to be doing. We're going to make people really be able to. We'll have the lowest tax rate we've ever had in the history of our country, and tremendous amounts of benefit are going to the middle-income people of our country, low and middle-income people of our country.
Trump's tone here strikes a mix of cautious optimism and political pragmatism. While he admits some parts of the bill aren't ideal, he emphasizes the tax cuts as the crown jewel, the biggest thing, aimed at energizing middle and low-income Americans. Calling it the Big Beautiful Bill is classic Trump branding, putting a positive spin on a complex and contentious piece of legislation. He knows the devil is in the details, but also that perception shapes public support. This clip highlights the core tension of Trump's legislative approach, balancing compromises to get a bill passed while framing it as a win for his base and for the economy. It's a negotiation between politics and policy, and Trump's clearly focused on the message.
I was disappointed to see the massive spending bill, frankly, which increases the budget deficit, not just decrease it, and undermines the work that the DOGE team is doing.
I actually thought that when this big, beautiful bill came along. Everything he's done on DOGE gets wiped out in the first year.
I think a bill can be big or it can be beautiful, but I don't know if it can be both. My personal opinion.
Elon Musk's frustration here cuts straight to the heart of the budget debate. His disappointment over the massive spending bill and its impact on the deficit reflects a fundamental clash with the political compromises embodied in the legislation. His point about the bill wiping out the gains made by his DOGE initiative underscores his broader concern that government spending often undermines efforts to reduce waste and inefficiency. The phrase, "a bill can be big or it can be beautiful, but I don't know if it can be both," neatly encapsulates the tension between scale and quality in government policymaking, a tension that Musk, with his tech background, finds especially hard to accept.